Hi everybody, this is DIY with Lawrenceburg Public Library. 7th Street Gifts would like to thank them for generously sponsoring the event and making your take-home kits possible. My name is Carissa Hunbutton. I'm from 7th Street Gifts. We're a small family-owned and operated brick-and-mortar apothecary shop located in downtown Newport, Kentucky that is, established in 1999. We make and sell a lot of skin foods and soaps and essential oils on site, and one of our products is a cocoa butter lemon cuticle cream, and that's what your take-home kit is going to have. And we're going to demonstrate a really quick DIY for you to melt and pour and make your own skin food nourishing cuticle cream. So when you unpack your bag, your front to your co-op bag, and that's the co-op that we get our essential oils and herbs from, they're out of Iowa. You're going to find in your bag a stir stick, and it may be a different color, but it would be like a craft popsicle stick. A little BPA-free, microwave-proof container with a lid. And when you open that up, inside your lid, you have a pre-measured amount of soy wax, which are these white kind of flakes or chips. Okay, and that comes from a soybean plant. It's a byproduct of soy oil. And then toward the bottom, you'll see some nice pre-measured little chunks of raw crude cocoa butter. And that's a fair trade certified organic cocoa butter. My son Owen helped me get these ready at the shop yesterday for you guys. So we went on ahead and pre-measured and weighed everything. And this is going to be the base or the foundation to your cuticle cream. Now we like soy wax first off because it's a byproduct, so if you're going to harvest and have a monoculture, you may as well get as many uses out of one single plant as you possibly can. So we have soybeans, soy oil, soy meal, right, for like a protein substitute, and then soy wax. It's a low melt wax for containers, so that means a really low temperature turns it to a liquid state, much easier than like a palm, a paraffin, or a beeswax. It melts at about 110 degrees, so it's really user-friendly because that's not a temperature that could burn and make a blister or leave any sort of long-lasting injury. We like it too because it makes a really nice seal for your cuticles and your nails and your fingers in between hand washing. And we're all hand washing now more than ever, which is a good thing, but it can kind of dry out your nail beds and make your cuticles more susceptible to breaking or peeling back or getting sore. So if you rub this in with your clean hands first really well and work it in, that wax kind of seals in around your nail beds and helps protect them from all the extra hand sanitizing and washing we're doing right now. Your second ingredient, your second ingredient again is cocoa butter, and we just talked about that. And why we chose that is because it's a sweet smelling, solid at room temperature plant butter that's deeply nourishing, and so it penetrates really well into skin and harder surfaces like nails and cuticle beds. It is also a scent anchor, so when you work with pure essential oils and not synthetic fragrance oils that have a petroleum base, there can be a tendency for high evaporation, which just means when you're using a nature-based volatile oil, when you introduce it to heat, it may not stay around as long as you would want, and so your fragrances sometimes aren't as strong with a nature-based oil than a synthetic. So one way to get around that and still use all natural plant essences and not introduce a petroleum synthetic oil is to put a nice cocoa butter in there, because that fat and that scent grabs on to the essential oils and works as like a chemical grounding component, and it slows your evaporation down. So then you still get your nice fragrance naturally and your properties from your essential oils without losing them all to evaporation when you introduce them to a hot base. And now to get your scents in, we're going to do something kind of like we did with our soap cubes before, a little bit different because it's not practical to include little bottles in everybody's kits. So how we're going to scent our base is we're going to use wheat germ oil, and we use wheat germ oil because it's nearly like pure vitamin E oil. It has a super high concentration. And we know vitamin E oil is nourishing, helps reduce scars, and then mainly extends shelf life. So it kind of acts as a natural extender to give this a really long shelf life so nothing will go bad on you anytime soon. And then our lemon, our pure lemon certified organic essential oil. What I did with these is I just used plain soy wax, and I melted them ahead of time at home and kind of made like a candle tart that you would use for an aromatherapy burner. And I melted them down, and then I added copious amounts of lemon essential oil, way more than we would usually add for a regular recipe. And I let them set up on pieces of wax paper, kind of like when you would do baking or candy making. And this, I call it a scent drop, and you can see it's brightly yellowed and it might be a little soft and crumbly, and that's okay because it just has a high concentration of our wheat germ oil and our lemon essential oil. So in our scent drop, we're gonna have raw soy wax chips, wheat germ oil, and lemon essential oil. And I've already gone ahead and made that for you guys. And so this is your base. You're gonna take this and microwave it. It takes about a minute, minute and 15 minutes to microwave. Mike, who's here filming and has brought us in for this, and I already went on ahead and melted our first container ahead of time. So yours is gonna look like this in the kit. You're gonna go to your microwave and you're gonna set your container in. This is a microwave-proof container, and you're gonna loosen your lid. And there's some step-by-step instructions in your bag too, just to help you remember. And I would start with a minute and then take it out and give it a really nice generous stir. Be sure it's blended in. And then this one needed an extra 30 seconds. And so everybody's microwave's a little bit different, but I would start in 30-second to minute blast, stir in between intermittently until you get a nice liquid, nearly translucent, light yellow melted base like this. Okay? So this is this. We just went on ahead and microwaved it ahead of time. And remember, you can microwave your bases right in this container, and it's BPA-free, food grade, and you just have to remember to loosen your lid a little bit. But other than that, everything's ready to go. And remember our plain soy wax with wheat germ oil and lemon essential oil, and we made our scent drops to make a feasible way to enhance our base with scent and our vitamin E loving oil. And so we're gonna drop it in there and just kind of let it melt like if you added butter to a recipe. I'm going to give it a gentle stir and kind of chop it up a little bit. And you'll be able to smell your lemon essential oil starting to break down. Try not to spill it like I did, but luckily we have this nice breakfast bar, stainless steel surface. I think the Friends of the Library bought, didn't they, Mike, with their, yep. So we are living high on the hog here at Lawrenceburg Public Library. In this newly remodeled room. It's not newly remodeled after I leave. And then you'll see it might get a little cloudy, and we don't want to microwave it much because we don't want to lose our evaporation. And so we're going to be gentle with it and patient and let it get cloudy and know that that's kind of to our favor because it means it's going to set up all the sooner. This is very, very similar to baking. Like if you're a gravy maker, a real gravy maker, you add your little tablespoons of butter and cold water. It had a little fleck of something, and you can just use your popsicle stick to get it out. Sometimes this crude cocoa butter, because it is so pure, will have like little pieces of husk or leaf in it, which I personally find pretty cool. But if you see something in there, that's what it is. It's just a piece of cocoa plant. And so you'll see how this got to like a cloudy, almost milky color when we added our scent drop. Okay? And that's what we want. That means this base is cooling off and it's going to pour easily and nice, kind of like a gravy when you pour a nice thick gravy. And I'm going to let that sit. And again, try to do a better job with your mess, but I will clean up after myself. And then while you let that sit for just a second and be sure that your lemon essential oil infuses into your base and your wheat germ infuses in, you're going to get your little tin out. And these can be kind of tricky at first because they're a screw. And I've got my gloves on. Let's see if I can get them with the screw. So we're a lot of times accustomed to just pulling the tops off, but I like the screws because they make the fragrances last longer. I feel like they have a better shelf life, and then it doesn't leak out in your purse either. My hands are super clean. I'm going to have to take these gloves off, guys, to get this open properly. So also, if you're starting to pull on it and it's not coming off, just remember it's a screw cap. And that's why, okay? And your container will come in a little piece of plastic just like this. So real quickly, we have our soy wax and our cocoa butter that we microwaved. We brought it to a liquid. We microwaved it for about a minute 30, and we stirred it in between our intermittent heat blasts. We added our scent drop that was cocoa butter, or I'm sorry, not cocoa butter, that was wheat germ, lemon essential oil, and soy wax. We dropped it into our melted base. We stirred it well until it got to a cloudy color and started to cool off, and our scent drop was completely melted. And then I have a pretty steady pouring hand, and I bet you guys do too. So I'm just going to take my time, and I'm going to use this corner of my container, and I'm going to gently pour it in to my tin. And it's really that simple. Almost so simple you don't know why you haven't done it before. And then in a perfect world, you would let this stay in a nice undisturbed countertop for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then screw your lid on and lid it up. You can lid it on ahead of time if you need to, if you have like kids or a cat, or you just know you don't want to leave it uncovered in your house. But it's nice if you do, because the heat and the evaporation can sometimes cause condensation on the inside of your lid, which isn't the end of the world, but anytime you're making a retail quality product cosmetic, you don't want any water, because water is a potential contaminant. So even condensation from the evaporation that gets on your lid and drops down onto the surface would be undesirable if you were selling this for retail. So this is one I made this morning at home, and it's set up for about an hour and a half, and yours will be solid just like this. Look, it won't come out. And then I did it on purpose. I have it a little bit left too. Owen and I weighed on the side. We'd always rather somebody's bag be heavy than light. I had a little bit left this morning, and you'll have a little bit left in your container as well, which is a good thing, because I would just lid it up, and you could do two things with it. You can just use it right out of your container if you want, but if it were me, I would lid it up and throw it in my refrigerator just to keep it cool. And then when your refillable screw cap tin is empty, just gently heat it again, your little bit of leftovers, probably about 45 seconds, give or take, and clean your tin off with like a hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol and refill it. Okay, and now you know the recipe, and it's so simple that you could really potentially use this tin again and again and refill it now that you have the knowledge for your basic base, right? So here's my little bit of extra, and I'm just going to save that for a rainy day. And again, I'm not going to screw the lid on right yet, because I'm going to try to let it cool off and eliminate any condensation or evaporation, so we don't introduce any water to our cosmetic base. So this is the one, how I like to use it, guys, is I just use my index finger and I warm it up. It's really pretty solid. It's not a soft base, and that's good, because you don't need a lot for your fingernails and cuticles anyway. And you get it on there, and then I just work it into all of my cuticles and all of my nail beds. We'll screw it on. Remember, it's a screw top. It's an easy thing to forget. And there is your lemon cocoa cuticle cream. And again, this is a plant-based, nourishing skin food, right? So it has all plant-derived ingredients. We'll go over one more quick time. Soy wax from a soybean plant, cocoa butter from a cocoa plant, wheat germ oil from the germs of the wheat grains, and lemon essential oil. Those are our 4 simple ingredients. You're gonna melt your pre-measured, pre-weighed ingredients in your microwave, and then you're going to gently pour it into your tin, allow it to set up and cool for about 45 minutes, screw on the cap, and enjoy. And then remember to save your little bit of extra for later, and when your tin is empty, just gently reheat and pour, and you should be good to go.